Hey everybody, Will Anderson here to break down a pivotal game from the third week of MGI's virtual Scrabble League series. Let's set the stage. Heading into play on Sunday, only 8 players remained from the original 112 entrants. These 8 players squared off in best-of-5 matches, with the winners moving on to the semifinals. The only match to reach the full 5 games was a titanic clash between Sammy Okosagah and Eta Karo, 2 former Nigerian Scrabble champions ranked among the best players in the world. The game elicited the following reaction from my co-commentator, Conrad Bassett-Bouchard.
You might have your review game for next week.
This has to be it. Let's dive in. Sammy opens with Baggio for 24. Bougie was also available, but keeping the E the best of the vowels after Baggio, as opposed to the A after Bougie, gives Sammy's play the edge. Eta draws the valuable blank, but it comes with 2 scoring tiles and a U. He plays Hup as an overlap for a good score, shedding all 3 of those tiles at once. But one bingo was lurking here, Patchouli for 67 points. Sammy picks a solid rack, but the Q plays the spoiler as it so often does. He dumps it for 11 points, the clear best choice. The other 6 tiles on Sammy's rack give him great prospects to draw a bingo next turn. Eta draws 2 more I's and another L, not what he had hoped to see, as bingoing will have to wait at least one more turn. He deftly sheds his duplicates with Ilial, the only play that scores in the 20s here. Aioli is another possibility, but it needlessly opens a number of damaging scoring opportunities for Sammy, including access to a triple word score and a high-scoring hotspot. Normally, drawing an S is cause for celebration, but it wasn't one of the 6 tiles that Sammy needed for a 7-letter bingo. He plays Feased for 28, hooking Gulf, but he clearly overlooked the filial hook here, which would have allowed him to use the same word or a play like Safed for 14 more points. Sometimes in Scrabble, making a mistake doesn't affect the outcome much, but in this situation, Eta has exactly the right rack to punish Sammy for his error. He plays Kazi, hammering the Z on the newly created hotspot en route to a whopping 79 points. Keeping the solid EI blank combination for his next move just sweetens the deal. Note that had Sammy played Safed and Filial instead, Eta's options here would be extremely limited. Sometimes, with players at this level, one slip up is all it takes for a game to get away from you. Sammy draws poorly to his lone S and plays Gulags, shedding all of his clunkiest tiles. However, giving up the S, which just became even more valuable than usual thanks to the Kazi's hook, is a big sacrifice to make. It's possible that a lower scoring play like Kagu, adding yet another S hook to the board and undoubling Sammy's G's, might have worked out better. The impressive overlap of Guzli was also available for 33 points. Eta finally gets his bingo down with Betides, his best and highest scoring option here. Nice play. Now facing a triple-digit deficit, Sammy does have a ray of hope in the form of the second blank, but there's no bingo playable here. He plays Awe for 25, keeping a solid, if slightly vowel-heavy, group of bingo tiles for next turn. His play also cleverly sets up his own A and T by creating a good spot for the Eat and Kawa hooks. Eta draws 3 R's after his bingo, something no Scrabble player likes to see. However, in this particular case, he has an obscure bingo of Rumorer available. He plays Rumor in that spot instead. I'm guessing he saw the word rumorer, but he couldn't definitively say whether or not it was in the dictionary. With such a large lead, I can understand why Eta was reluctant to risk losing his turn on a lost challenge here. It's one of the few ways he can lose this game. Sammy draws into a bingo and makes a nice find of Admittee. Another possibility here was Tainted, making a slew of overlaps underneath Rumor and scoring 6 more points. Tainted also opens threatening bingo lanes on the bottom of the board, which Sammy needs here, given that he'll still be down a fair margin after his bingo. But Eta would have had a solid response no matter what Sammy picked. He plays Enteron, his only bingo available here, to fend off Sammy's comeback. Sammy responds with his best move of Gion for 44.
Seems like a good idea, scores pretty well. NTV is not a wonderful leave. But you know what? This NTV, if you think about it, IG right here is so interesting. You can get double doubles.
Yeah.
Ending in ING.
Ooh,
check this out. So if you have NTV and you draw some combination of vowels with TV and maybe another consonant that gives you a verb, Sammy is double-doubling in that spot for a zillion points.
After his bingo, Eta draws 6 vowels and an S. He grabs the highest score he can get here with G's, keeping 4 vowels behind. Normally, keeping 4 vowels is something to avoid at almost any cost, but take a look at the unseen tiles from Eta's point of view. There are only 7 unseen vowels compared to 23 consonants, making this a great time to keep a slew of vowels in reserve. Great recognition by Eta. By the same token, it's not surprising to see Sammy bogged down by those consonants. He plays Ani, once again retaining that valuable N for the ING spot, while also opening more space on the right side of the board. Another interesting idea might have been Win in the lower right, gambling on drawing the final S for an enormous hooking play on the triple word score. But after Eta's play of G's, the odds are better than usual that Eta already has the final S. G's is a play Eta would make a lot of the time, holding 2 S's in an effort to unduplicate them. Amazingly, Eta draws 3 more vowels after G's, despite the shortage of vowels in the unseen tiles. He exchanges 5 of them here, but we might have liked to see him play something like iota here through the T.
Yeah, I don't think you can trade here because there's only 4 unseen vowels plus a Y, so there's no incentive to trade.
An exchange from Eta is exactly the lifeline that Sammy needed, and now he has the X to play for 50 points at the top of the board. Amazingly, after his move here, he's only 16 points down. However, there was one better idea here. Tax at the bottom of the board scores 50 points as well, and it sheds an extra consonant from his rack. In this situation, Sammy's going to have to use his lone vowel to effectively use his X, but he needs to use as many extra consonants as possible along with it to maximize his chance of drawing more vowels next turn. In the end, it wouldn't have mattered.
Bombs his X, there's still...
He drew retracing and all that. Oh my goodness,
oh!
He did it. Come on.
Amazing. Let's see if he sees it. Let's see if he sees it. Let's see. He's got to see it first. He did. Oh my gosh. Great play. Eta, pretty amazing. Yeah. Sammy was so close to it before, and it was Eta that ends up hitting the spot.
Sammy's back to being down by triple digits again. He makes his best move of Thorpe for 37 here, in desperate need of a miracle bingo on the bottom of the board or to the Y in Ani. Eta plays Ohm for 24 in the upper left corner. It might surprise you that he doesn't attempt to block the open lanes, but Ohm scores quite well here, and most importantly, it doesn't empty the bag. If Sammy does manage to draw a bingo after Thorpe, such as Divinely or Diolafin, Eta will still get one more play to retake the lead and secure the win. In a show of respect for Eta, Sammy knows that even moves like fishing off his F in an attempt to draw Divinely are never going to work for him here. With only one tile in the bag, Eta will always see his play and block it. Instead, he plays Fendi for 47, effectively conceding defeat in a game he knows he can't win. Eta could play Viscid here for 40, blocking Sammy's lone outplay of Void. But in this match play format, margin of victory is of no concern, only wins and losses. To get to the end of the game, he plays Vinnick for 24. And as expected, Sammy plays Void for 16, ending the game. After a hard-fought 5-game series between these two great players, it was Eta Karo advancing to the semifinals over Sammy Okosagah with a 472-415 win in this decisive game. Tune in for top-notch Scrabble action like this at my Twitch channel and make sure to follow to be notified when we go live.